Hello crafty friends, it's Erica, ScrapDiva29. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am coming on with a tutorial on how to create this Christmas Advent box that I shared in a previous video. I had several people ask me to do a tutorial on this box, so here it is. It's really simple and easy to create. So today I'm just going to share with you how to create the box and how to create the dividers. If you plan on using the smaller panel die that is also in the KS Craft Store, you're gonna have to create smaller dividers. But for today, I'm just gonna show you how to at least create the divider, and that way you know how I made them, and then you can figure out the measurements for the smaller ones if you wanna do the smaller one. But this one right here will work for this panel of 5 little windows. So let's get started. All right, I already cut out my paper, and you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 6 3/4 by 10 inches in length. And I'm gonna flip it over just because it's easier to score glitter cardstock on the smooth side. And this is the glitter cardstock that you can get at Michael's, in case you are wondering. So, all right, so we're going to start. I have my notes right beside me. Okay, on the 6 3/4 inch side, so I'm gonna rotate my paper, it's the shorter end. We're gonna start off by scoring at 1/4 inch. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna score 1/4 inch entirely on each side of this rectangle. So on all 4 sides, we're scoring at 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna continue to rotate my paper. And this is the last side, 1/4 inch. So all 4 sides are scored. I'm gonna bring it back to the 6 3/4 inch side, and my next score line is going to be at 1 inch. So just make sure you hold your paper steady and score down 1 inch. And then the next one is going to be 5 3/4. And I love that this one is numbered, so you don't have to guess. If you don't have this We Are Memory Keepers scoreboard, it's pretty awesome. So those are the 2 score lines that we'll need on that side, and then we'll rotate it to the 10 inch side, and we're gonna score at 1 inch. Oops, got a little tear in this paper, but hopefully it'll still work okay. Just have to be careful. 1 inch, and then 9 inches. Okay, so that's all we're gonna do as far as the scoring. So as you can see, I have all of my score lines. It's gonna look something like this. And I'm just gonna start folding on all the score lines because it's gonna make it easier. And I'm gonna use this bone folder. I love this bone folder for scoring my paper. It just smooths it down so nicely, especially with thicker cardstock. So I'm just going to make sure that I have a good crease on every single score line. So we'll start with those 2, then I'll work my way to this side. And then I'm gonna carefully fold this up. This panel right here. And I'm gonna take my scoring tool, give it a good crease. That's good. That one's good. So now I'm gonna do this side and this side. And I'm just gonna keep going. We got one more side to do. Again, give it a good crease. Do the smaller one. Fold it down like so. And I think I have them all folded down. Oh, yep, I think I did. Excuse me. Okay, so the next step is there's a little box right here that we created, and we're just gonna use our scissors and cut straight up to the score line, like so. So you're gonna create a tab. Same thing on this side. Cut up to that score mark and create that little tab right there. turn it around. We'll do the same thing on this side right here. Looks like I messed up my scissors, or one of my kids, or maybe that's tape. Oh my goodness, I see something on my scissors. Okay, so cut up. So you're gonna have something that looks like this on this side, and then same thing on this side, okay? And then what you're gonna do is we're gonna cut off this little piece right here because you don't need it. And I just like to cut a little bit below the score line, just so that you have like a little slight cut. And then same thing on this side. Again, I'm cutting on basically the opposite side of the score line. I think it just folds in a little bit nicer. I'm gonna cut that off and cut that off. So you're gonna be left with something like that. Okay, so are you with me? Super simple, right? Then we're gonna go back to this side and do the same thing. We're gonna cut off this little rectangle right here. Again, cut on the inside of your score mark. And same thing on this side. We're gonna cut right here and right here. Okay, now this has torn a little bit. Hopefully it won't be too big of a deal, but I'm going to continue on with the tutorial and hopefully it'll all still work out okay. So now you see we have like the base of our box. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue our little tabs that we created. We're just going to glue them on each side. And then we have this little label, or this little panel on top. That is the panel that you're going to create to stick your panel on with your little openings. If you see what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. So I have my hot glue. You could definitely use wet adhesive if you wanted to. And I'm just going to use hot glue today because it's fast. And I'm just going to adhere it down. And we're going to do that to each little panel that we made. So there's one. Then we have this one right here. And you can cut that little tab off if you want, or you can just keep it like I'm keeping it. It's like, you know, just like a reinforcement on the inside of the box. So it doesn't really matter. So we've got that one. You just want to hold it for a second with the hot glue, but it dries super fast, as you know. Then we're going to come over here. And I am running out of hot glue. Oh my goodness, I might have to pause the video. All right, so we've got that one there. And then we're gonna glue the final tab, which is this one right here. And I'm gonna have to use my little tool right here and just push this in to make sure I have enough glue to come out. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize my glue stick was so low. Let's see if I can make it work. I was not thinking about that. And of course, when you're shooting a tutorial, and this is that, you know, chargeable glue gun. And so I did have it off of the charger for a second. So I'm just putting it on for just a second so I can charge this up, because I had it off, you know, after you have it off for a while, it kind of cuts off automatically. Well, it doesn't cut off. Well, actually it does. But I just want to make sure that it's hot so I can get enough just to glue this last one down. Oh my goodness, I don't know if it will. All right, we might have to come back to this one or just glue it with what I have. We'll just do that for right now because you guys will still get the idea of this whole box. So here's the box, and as you can see, you just fold this little tab down, and what you're gonna do is add glue to these little corners so that they can stay down in place, your little tabs on the top. And I just like to tuck it in, tuck these corners in first, the shorter corners, and then the longer ones go over like so. All right, let's see if my glue stick has heated up a little bit more. It looks like it has. Okay, so I can put a little bit of glue right there and stick it down. And then I'll have a little bit of glue right there. And I cannot believe this is it always happens, like when you shoot a tutorial, something always goes wrong, but it's all good. We're gonna make this work. We've got only a little bit more glue, hot glue. So we got that end right there, maybe a tad. All you need is a tad of glue. And then the last one right there. Okay, perfect. It all worked out. And then you just glue it on this side. And I'm getting this all over the place, but that's okay. So your box is gonna look something like this, okay? So that was pretty simple, right? So you got the base of the box. So next thing I'm gonna show you is how to create the dividers. So we're gonna do the dividers next, all right? So I have a piece of paper right here. This measures 8 by 2. And what I'm gonna do is score at 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to score at 7/8. And then I'm going to score at 1 1/8. 1 1/8. And then 1 3/4. Okay? So you're going to have something that looks like this. Well, you can't really see it, but hopefully this is picking up in the camera and that you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I am focused. So you're gonna have these score lines. So again, you're just going to fold on each score line and make sure you use a good bone folder so that you can create a nice crease. And again, this one, actually the 1/4 inch score line, you wanna fold that up and then crease it because you're gonna use it on that side. This one, you're gonna fold like this. And then the last one is gonna be folded up. So up and then over, kind of like mountain valley, I guess. And then take your bone folder, give it a good crease, like so. Okay, so now you're gonna have something like this, okay? Something like this. And then what I did is you can either use some score tape right in here, or you can use your hot glue or your wet glue. I just used some score tape, but I didn't bring it down, so hopefully I can get a little bit more of this hot glue out. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of hot glue, if it will allow me to, down the center of this. Because all I'm gonna do is pinch this together like so. I'm just gonna pinch it together. We're just creating a divider, and it's just gonna look something like this, okay? So you just want this part on the inside to be attached, and then this side is gonna lay flat. And then I would highly recommend using wet glue once you stick it in. And you wanna make sure that it's centered. And I would highly suggest either score tape or wet glue when you're doing this. Don't use hot glue like I'm doing for this example. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna insert your little tab, and it's just gonna go underneath your little lid right here. And you see how perfectly that fits in there? And you're just gonna adhere that down with your glue. And what I did was I used my panel as like an example. So I knew where I wanted this to go as far as like on this side. If you look at the panel, you want to make sure that it's in between this little opening and this score line that's right here, if that makes sense. So if you want to move that up on your paper, you can take a pencil or a marker and just kind of slightly mark your paper like so, so you know where to stick the divider. And then same thing for down here. You're gonna make sure that you stick your divider in between this panel and this panel. So you would just take your pen and just do a little mark so you know exactly where your panel is gonna go. And this part's gonna get covered up, so don't worry about the pen mark. So that's gonna go right there. And then this one is gonna go in between this one and this one. And it's just meant you know, so that you have like a little guide, okay? So I already went ahead and scored and taped this one just to save time. And all I'm gonna do is cut it. So I believe, let's see, let me just measure this for you really quickly. I think the smaller ones are about 1 3/4 inches, roughly, maybe 1.5 inches. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna take my ruler and then just make my cut. I'm gonna do 1 3/4 inches, so that is about right there. And then you can also, you know, cut off a little bit more if you need to, but then you would adhere that right there, like so. So this would be adhered, and then this one would be adhered like that. And then you're gonna cut another one at 1 3/4 inches. So again, you can use your ruler and make your cut at 1 3/4 inches. 1, 2, 3, so about right there. And again, you want to take your time doing this, but you guys get the idea. You're going to take your wet glue, you're going to find your little marks on your paper, and you're going to stick that down like so. So there you have the 3 dividers down here, okay? And then for the top 2, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to cut this down. This one, let's see, this one measures approximately 3 inches. So you're gonna need 2 3-inch dividers for right here and right here. And then you will be able to add your little goodies and stick your panel on the top with your adhesive, and you will have the most adorable Christmas Advent calendar ready to gift to a friend or a loved one. So that is it. I'll link the measurements in the description box below. I hope this made sense. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Check the description box below for the product information, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.